Happy Monday morning from your friends on the couch on the Today in AZ After Show. No steady cam.
I know, I'm used to some fancy move.
It's not quite as cool. Paul Gerke, Rachel McNeil, James Quinones, Vanessa Ramirez hanging out on the couch.
Our note taker today.
Yeah, could you explain what you're doing?
What's
for the
happening?
people here
You
today?
know, I like taking notes. People say things, and sometimes they'll say interesting things, and I'll write the thought down, or maybe I'll have a thought and I'll continue that so that I have it right there always. And I'm not big on the phone. I was deleting all my thoughts the other day. I had a whole bunch on that notes that you take here.
Wait a second. Hold on.
What is
We have just
happening?
tapped into something. You have a notes app that's just your stream of consciousness?
Yeah, like I don't know what Willie Meyer is.
Let's read
That's
some of
your
them. Can
plumber.
we read some of them?
Oh, no way.
About
That's my plumber. That's Willie.
my cousin-in-law.
I was wondering what that
He's
was.
like, why do I have Willie Meyer in my notes?
Yeah, he does my plumbing for me.
Let's have a new segment where we solve mysteries, that notes that Jimmy leaves for himself but then doesn't understand, and then we all try to deduce what they mean.
Well, I helped him with that one.
So that's one down. Do you have any other notes?
you go.
I want to crack another case.
Paul's probably
It's like Scooby-Doo in the
Paul's
gang over
probably
here.
like my
Brendo.
I just
Kill
screenshot
Paul
things.
Gerke? I don't know what
You
that
know?
means.
Brenda supervisor.
When I want to remember stuff, I just screenshot it, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll go back to it.
What you got?
Sunshine Cleaners, Pulp Fiction, Scarface, Rat Race. These must be movies I want to watch that I need to get to.
But it doesn't have anything to do with the cleaners? No.
What's that?
Nimmernstorf.
What is that?
Nimmernstorf.
What is that? I don't know. Let's just stop.
We better be careful. We're going to get into some crazy stuff in there.
You're going to be all Jimmy.
You're getting the prompter.
R-O-P-A.
RPH.
That was very good. Your vocabulary is
Nimmernstorf,
pretty
yes.
amazing.
Of course, I'm quite
It's
familiar.
like you're in my head.
Wow.
The best part about it, his font is this big.
Saves the eye.
That's what happens when you hit a certain age,
Don't need
I
right?
reading
appreciate a
glasses.
large font.
I was in the coach house and I had this font, and these girls came up to me one day a couple years ago, and
That's
they
so
said, "We
embarrassing.
want you to know that everyone on the other side of the room can read your text."
Now, my sister saw my font and she's like, you can't talk crap about anybody because people like 8 seats over can see what you're texting. I'm like, oh, well, don't be jealous.
We have struck gold, guys. Like, you realize the mine that we've just unearthed here? Jimmy's Mystery Messages is a new segment on this show. I'm
It
making the
is.
graphic today. You think I'm kidding, but our Brandon, our graphic guy's back in the office today. I've got a list of new things I want to add to the show.
Okay.
Jimmy's Mystery Messages is getting
I
in the
like
show.
that. And we'll all just take turns interpreting. What do you think this note might mean?
Yeah.
The people
You
aren't
were
playing
guessing,
along
man.
with us. They're trying to stick to our topic today.
I just want to let you know that you're sitting on the wand, and you just scrolled all the way through.
prompter
everything.
wand?
Yep.
Oh, we didn't need that anyway.
Well, it's Monday.
We never follow the prompter anyway.
Oh, what? Is these words in here? We're supposed to read these? Oh, well, in that case, with a reported 8 in 10 adults living paycheck to paycheck, schools across the country are now making financial literacy part of their curriculum. Here's the thing. It's better if we just don't read the words and we just make it up.
Okay.
So we want you to share some financial advice with
Yes.
the next generation. If you had one tip about managing money, what would it be? What was your one thing? Jimmy's got a ton. He's writing stuff down.
Oh, he's writing
That's
stuff
how you
down.
know.
Yeah.
I'm with Carol on hers. She said, stay out of debt. If you can't afford it, don't buy it. And for the longest time, they made fun of me because I didn't have a credit card. Well, I had one back in the day, but I got rid of it, right? And so my new thought process was, when I got rid of my credit card, if I can't afford to buy it now, then I don't need to buy it. So I didn't have one for the longest time, and then Paul gave me a really hard time. And the only reason I
so good.
decided
That's so good.
to get one was because of the points. Yeah. And
You can capitalize right away on points.
So now I'm smart about it. I use it, but then I pay it off at the end of the month, and then that way I accumulate the points, and then I don't get into debt because I'm not.
So here's the counterpoint to that
Yeah.
argument. You can still abide by the same policy even if you have a credit card, right? So like, still don't buy the stuff if you can't afford it, but put it on the card because
Right.
it improves your credit and you can score the free points. I mean, most cards now when you sign up, I mean, it's at least enough points to score a free flight.
Yeah.
And I travel a fair amount, so it's worth it just for that.
So I like it now.
Yeah.
I have my gas. I put gas on it.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah,
some
for
gas.
I'm at the point now where I put everything on my credit card.
Everything?
Literally everything. Even my student loan payments are set to go through my credit card. And I just pay off the balance at the end of every month.
yeah.
That way I get points on every single purchase I make, and it all adds up. I'm taking 2 trips back to Michigan, one in June, one in July, and I didn't pay a dime for either trip.
That's the key, though,
tax.
paying it off at the end of the month.
Yes.
Don't let it add up, because then you're paying all that interest rate, and it's just bad.
Jimmy now has 6 things
lot
written on
of
his handy-dandy notebook, so
really
it's
Oh, a
time
lot
to
of this
figure out-
reiterates a lot.
Yeah, go
Broke
ahead.
is
Yes.
good. Broke is good. Debt is bad. If you're completely broke, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's the debt, because you pay the interest, it's going to kill you. Yeah, you got to be a cash thinker. Even though you use your credit card, think of it like I'm going to pay this at the end of the month.
It's
Yeah.
so hard with the debit cards because I just I never carry cash, so I always don't think about it later.
That's the noise it makes.
Yeah. I know.
I tried to pay off a car once with a credit card, and there's a law that you can't because it's like double jeopardy. Because they can only charge you a certain amount for the interest rate, and if you pay with a credit card, then you have to pay the credit card's interest rate. So you can only put like $2,000 down for
That's
a
probably
car,
good.
two or 3,000. Because I thought I was going to get great. I'm going to have frequent flyer miles up the wazoo. It doesn't work like
Right.
that.
I didn't even think of that.
Wow.
You're trying to break the system.
Yep, trying to do that.
Bill has a good comment. He said,
Is it Wild Bill in Gold Canyon or is it a different Bill?
It's Bill Castro.
I don't think that's
Said open an index mutual fund account when you get your first job. Save 10% of your first paycheck and repeat for all other paychecks until you retire.
That takes some commitment, man.
Yes.
And Bill, I've been broke and beyond broke. There's no way I could take 10% of my paycheck and put it away.
Yeah, but you can take something.
Yeah, some years it
You
was
just keep throwing it in.
starting
Keep
out in the
throwing it in.
business.
I mean, I'm putting
Not
it into a
awesome.
401k now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep,
Like,
that's good. That's good.
And I try to put stuff in savings, but I got bills to pay, man.
Yeah, I was an old guy. I was a young guy like you once, and all of a sudden you blink your eyes.
Old guy, you're still
I
an
was an
old
old
guy.
guy.
I still am. No, I'm an older guy. But man, it goes really quick. You got to invest, you know, and make your own coffee. Do that. The simple things.
Yeah.
Get a dang coffee pot. These kids these days, I see them just.
Oh, the $8
They're just like
coffee.
yeah.
Three times a day.
I call it $5.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, let's go over to $5.
You're lucky
Couple
it
bucks
was
coffee?
Clever guy.
Seriously?
That's a little one.
They're the kids, and then they're just getting one for themselves. The thing is now I'm going to go for Bobby and John and Frank.
Bobby,
It's my turn
Johnny,
to pick
Frankie,
it up
they don't
and-
need it.
Yeah, they don't need
They
it.
don't need it.
Let them get their own coffee.
Steve says he took classes like this when he went to school in the 70s. Did you ever take a financial responsibility class? or
I
anything
should
like
have.
that?
Nah, you know,
so.
it's rare that they have any of that. I mean, they need,
should have.
I think what they're talking about here is nothing like collegiate level, just basic stuff to tell
Yeah.
kids what credit cards are, how bad they are, the debt that you can get into. You open up a credit card, right? You think you're doing good, and then maybe you have too many, you close one, it kills your credit.
Yeah, I did that recently. I shut down an old checking account and my old credit card associated with it, and it took like 4 points off my credit
It's
score.
evil. It's like they're all in it together. Seriously,
Yeah.
you got to be very careful about what credit card you open up because you don't want to be jumping around from credit card. And everywhere you go now, they beg you. Yesterday on the plane, they're walking down the aisles.
Yeah.
They're saying, "Who wants to do it? You're going to get all these
I
miles."
know.
Do you know why they want you to? Because they're going to make so much money on interest with you. Interest. Everybody.
So my first credit card, I was graduating from college, and they just send you one in the mail. You didn't ask for it; it just comes in the mail. And I was like, "This is great!" So I got my brand new credit card. Oh my gosh! Did not know my first job. I made $12,750 a year.
Wow.
And so
I'm right there with you.
I had to put so
11.
much on the credit card because a lot. I mean, forget about putting 10% away. I was barely making
Sure.
enough to beyond paycheck to paycheck. This is below. So I was charging on stuff on the credit card, and come to find out, it was like 23.5% interest.
Right.
It's evil. The mob doesn't even
I had
charge
no
that
idea.
much.
I didn't read the fine print. It was terrible.
seriously?
Read the fine print. That's your-
You frickin' people in Congress and Senate approve this crap so these people can charge this much in interest. It's evil because they're bought off as well by these credit card companies. I'm serious. The mob doesn't charge that much. You borrow money from
The
them.
mob.
A vicious cycle.
As
I'll tell you
as
what.
a kid who grew up without money and still doesn't have a whole lot of it, this is the fallacy that you run into is you corner a young person who's put in a position to bet on themselves. And sometimes that bet doesn't pay off. I would say more often than not, it doesn't. My first job, I was making $17,500. I've said this before on the show. I'm not afraid to say it. I was on food stamps. I had a government assistance card. I did not have a credit card back then. And that's part of the reason why is because I'd be mortgaging my future in a way that I wasn't comfortable with,
Yep.
basically. So I'd rather just be broke poor for as long as I possibly can get by being poor before I got my first credit card when I moved out to Boise. But even then, to take a credit card is you're betting that eventually you're going to have the money to be able to cover your expenses. That's a dangerous bet to take.
Yes.
Because we're all one accident away from being out on the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, especially considering how bad healthcare is in this country
Yeah.
right now. We are all one mistake away from being completely
That's
broke.
catastrophic, yep.
It's a dangerous game to play, and it's not fair. I think the problem is remedied by more livable wages. I think the problem is remedied by, in some small way, teaching financial responsibility at a very young age. I think the other thing too is does it seem absurd to you that a credit card company can just mail you something and then charge you 23% interest on any purchase you put on it?
There's scumbags.
That doesn't
I
seem
rarely
fair.
ever get
That
opinionated.
seems predatory.
I will call them. It is predatory, and it's
Yeah.
wrong. And they're. I'm telling you, they got so much money. These banks, they pay off a lot of very influential people to pass these laws so they can do that, so they can prey on people like my son, who took out the same thing. He was paying 17%. The good news for him is he completely blew his credit. destroyed. That was the best thing because it kept them away for now.
Yeah.
But they're still trying to come in. They'll come in again. We'll give you another credit card. This is a $500 limit. They want
yeah,
anything to
$500
put on
limit.
there,
Yeah.
anything they can. Everyone's in on the game now. It seems like you can't even go to a retail store without them
every
trying to
time
get you
they're
to
like,
open it.
you sure you don't want to open a card? You get an extra this percent
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
and this
Old
free and that. I'm
Navy
like,
for
I'm
crying
good.
out
No
loud.
more
Ulta, the
store
beauty
cards.
Yes.
store, they always get you. They're like, you want to open a card? I'm like, no, I'm
can
good.
save
No
all
more
this
store
money.
cards. I
Yeah.
had to I had to get rid of all
Because
those.
everybody wants a
Too
piece of the pie because they know how profitable it is to loan out money, predatory lending like you talk about. I wish we could get rid of that.
Or even when you have one. Remember the other day when you brought it up and I said, hey, they did it to me too. They're like, hey, we need an update on your income because they want to increase your
credit.
amount.
Oh,
and I'm
always,
like,
yeah.
oh gosh, I don't need to increase it anymore.
Yeah.
It's great. Like, but they keep trying to get you so they can.
I always
They
say,
can use
no
it.
thanks.
My bank put
Skip it.
a very low limit on the cash withdrawal you could make on a day. And I think this is another way to get you on the line. Just another thing to make you try to acquire more money from I won't throw my bank under the bus. But it was a situation where I took out money to go on a trip and I needed a little more cash day of. And so I ended up at an ATM where I was and I got declined. And it was like, oh, well, your limit was only $500 a day.
Oh, yeah,
that you
to
could take
pull
out of your
out,
ATM,
yeah.
Which 99.9% of the time is never going to be an issue for me. But if I'm out of town and I need cash, it's a different
Go
situation.
to the bank.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was, no, I have to get you on the line. Oh, is there anything else we can help you with? We happy to increase your line of credit today. Like, you're in great financial standing with us. And it's like, no. Just give me my damn money that I put in that account. I would like to hold it in my hands, please, without any extra business.
I just wish that back in 2008, and this is controversial, and I've been countered by a lot of people, I wish they would have let the banks crash. I wish we did not bail them out because somebody would have come along with a brand new system. It's a monopoly. We should have never bailed them out. If I have my own business and it starts to crash, the government's not going to bail me out. Tough. That's your business. That's what these are. They're private businesses that make a fortune. And what's the first thing they did when they bailed them out? They gave their CEOs bonuses. And I don't know. But then again, I know if you didn't bail them out, then maybe we're still in a horrible mess right now.
All right, if you missed today's this morning, we were talking about this on the show. We had a moment we'd like to share with you. Call it our ICYMI in case you missed it this morning. More financial advice, some very thrifty advice.
Good stuff.
From Mr. JQ over here.
58% of people do this when seeing a movie at a theater. So we had a lot of text messages. Someone said save a seat.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the few places in the world you can save a seat still.
Yeah.
I'm not going to yell at you for saving a seat in a movie theater.
What
I'm
else do
playing
we have?
different story.
Fall asleep. That's from Braden and Phoenix. Eating popcorn. Okay. Bring their own snacks. Bring some food to the movie theater.
Smuggling something in.
Sneak in their own goodies. Yep. Bring their own snacks. Okay, that seems to be very popular. Look at their phone.
Ooh, don't do that.
Yeah, you don't want that one.
No.
I agree with sneaking in snacks. I've done that from time to time. You go to the dollar store and you get a couple boxes of candy,
Then you're walking
some
in and
water.
you're hearing that noise.
In your giant trench coat that's filled with snacks.
No, that's when you bring the big person and you're like, all right, guys, let's come on into the movie theater.
Check. You got to be aware of that.
How about buying the
Bag.
popcorn refill? Because that's always a decision. Do I
Who
get that
does
or
that?
not?
Who buys the popcorn refill? Do you
Well, because they always get you. They're like,
what?
for $1 more, you can buy the bigger one and you get a refill.
And we bring it back the
Are
next
you going
time.
to eat this much popcorn and then fill it up again?
You really shouldn't.
Can I tell you the trick?
What?
You
Save
take
it?
the bag home with you, and then you bring the bag home again the next time. Because they put an X on it, so you can do that. Yeah.
You're going to tell me to bring your own
lot of
popcorn in
effort.
too? You smuggling in raw kernels and heating them up in your seat with a...
No.
You guys have a microwave?
Yeah, no. Go do weather.
Wait.
It works.
Yeah, I totally see you doing this. He's very frugal. He's smart with
Thrifty.
Yeah,
Thrifty.
with the way he does his stuff. But yeah, you really do that, right? I can see him folding the bag.
I got the idea from another mom up
And
in
then-
Scottsdale, and as far as I know, there's no rules against it at the theaters.
I think
I'm not breaking
It's
the
not
rules.
illegal.
I
Doesn't
think
mean
there
you should
are,
do
though.
it.
So it's like you said. So you get this bag, and you pay the extra for it. You're not going to eat 2 big bags of popcorn.
You're not
And
gonna
then
so
you
you
fold
just
it?
I keep it at home, and then you pull it out when you're bringing it, and you give it to them, and they
don't
Yep,
know?
there you go.
That is
They don't
next
even
level.
But
care.
what happens when it gets too
Yeah.
wrinkly after a while, like messed up?
You can't
don't
reuse
wear
it again. You can only use it once.
Okay.
Because they put an X on it.
Oh, do they?
Yes, I'm not
I've
doing
never
this.
done that. I've never
No,
done
he's got
that.
this
No,
bag from
they-
the 70s.
Yeah.
He just brings it with him every
we've
time.
never
Is that old
seen.
logo?
Sweetums, where's my
could we buy this? Could we buy this for you to put in our museum case? We have not seen one of these bags. No, they put in.
No,
They're not
okay.
idiots.
Okay.
No, you and my husband would get along great because
Thank you.
he will never go to the movies without coming prepared, and then he'll wear like cargo shorts. So like every single podcast,
Hey,
like
hey,
kids,
easy on the
who
cargo
wants
shorts.
the Skittles,
Oh, yeah, that's fashion
who wants the
forward.
gummy bears. But the problem is we're walking in. I'm like, you have to walk in like a robot because he's crinkling and making all this noise.
He weighs 290 pounds.
I mean, if he could fit in, I'm telling you, drinks, water, and all, it's the cargo pants.
This show's gone off the rails today.
Oh, really? Folks, I'm telling money. Okay.
That's a way to save money, though.
But
Money
you
is time out of your life.
Because the tickets are whatever, like $50 for,
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Well, 'cause it's
but
all of them.
For the, the
Yeah,
whole
for the
family.
family.
But then by the time they're done ordering all their stuff that the kids want, it is like $80.
They gouge you up on those things.
Yeah.
Well, like we
You
were
know?
saying,
He
a
likes to go
bottle
to
of water
Walgreens
you can buy at a
and
store
yeah.
for $1, and then they sell them to you for $6 at the movie theater.
Even the
It is
fact that a
crazy.
bottle of water is $1 is insane. Don't get me started on the cost.
So
of
I
water.
do think, I feel like it's okay because if you have a little tickle or a cough for everybody's safety, it's good to bring like a small water. I feel like they should not be annoyed if you do that. The whole like sneaking in an entire dinner and your
I really don't bring
tuna fish
anything
salad, sandwich, and all that, it's maybe too.
I've done Taco Bell before.
I just redo the
Have you?
popcorn. That's it.
My mom's pulled that stunt. My mom used to
It
do
was
the-
like
bring
during
the
the
big
day.
purse and load it up.
Yeah.
But I always feel like the people next to me are going to smell when it, and I don't know. I feel too conspicuous.
Jimmy, I'm surprised that they even thought had enough to put an X on the bags because I thought that was a stunt you could run for years before someone.
No.
I didn't know
That's what
that.
they do. They you bring it back and here you go, absolutely, and they put the X on the bottom, just to make sure it's
So then,
good.
okay, you can use it.
So you get these
just
two
like one
big
time.
bags every time. It's awesome. I don't know. I used to. Hey, I've lived in my car a couple times in my life. I have once in Los Angeles and once up in New England. I also had to get a Salvation Army match. I mean, wasn't raised poor. I'm not saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I know what it's like to scrape. I've also been fired before, and in this job, you only go 2-3 year contracts. So I've been scared to death of financial being destitute. You know, we're just one contract away from,
That's true.
pushing pencils out on the square over here.
Now, you got to get creative.
That's stuck in
sometimes,
my
for
head.
sure.
I don't know why. I can't get that out. It just freaks me out whenever I can.
We have a lot of people chiming
Yeah,
in,
let's
guys.
get to the people because we're talking too much here.
Come on, people.
So let me go back to Carol's. I have to scroll all the way
I'll get to
back.
Sean real quick.
Okay.
Sean says you need to learn the difference between having the money and affording to buy something. That's a mindset more than it's any piece of financial advice.
Sorry, I'm losing them because there's a whole bunch of them here.
There are some good ones.
Let's see. Carol says, keep a log of what you spend. Once you see where your money is going, stop. So I like that too because the banks do that now too. They'll let you know what you spend on food. Like you can log it in when
Yeah,
you go
yeah.
online. What you spend on food, makeup, gas, groceries, all that good stuff.
So
And it'll
nice
tell
of
you
them.
where you're spending
Yeah,
a lot of your
Such
money.
wonderful
How thoughtful.
people.
Denise says introduce them to the magic of compound interest. Denise or Jimmy, our financier here, would you like to explain how compound interest works?
I don't even know.
Me neither, Denise. Would you like to tell us how
Yeah.
compound interest works? Because I don't understand.
But what I do know is when I was a kid, you could put money in the bank and they'd give you 5%, 6%
Oh, yeah.
interest.
Yeah.
Nothing
get a
right
tenth
now.
of a
There
percent.
is
Oh,
no
It's like, don't even
incentive to
bother.
say they don't
Oh,
want
gosh.
you to save. What they want you to do is
Spend,
borrow
spend,
more.
spend.
Borrow more. Credit. They'll give you more credit. They're not going to give you anything on interest.
Well, Christina said, my daughter is working. We have her save 30% of her check.
That's awesome.
Good idea.
That's
That's
great as
really
long as you
good.
can do it. Yeah.
Wow, somebody's calling me.
Chris says invest
Sorry,
in a
I'm
401k. Can we answer it on the air?
No, I don't know
That
what
should
it
be a
is.
new policy that if one of us gets a phone call during the show, we answer it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about
Just
that.
invest. You know,
I get a
gonna
lot
take
of
live
people calling
callers
me
now?
if I want to sell my house. I'm
Lines
like,
are open.
I hate this. I'm like, do you see a for sale sign on my house? Then no, don't call me. I don't want to sell my house. I'm living in it.
and by
Stop.
the way, they don't
Yeah.
want to buy it what it's worth.
Yeah.
No, well, they're like,
looking
we'll
for a
sell
deal.
cash, like the way it is. I'm
Cash,
like,
no
first of all, it's a
questions
nice
asked.
house.
Nope.
Yeah.
What they're going to do is when the offer finally comes through, it's going to be a lot less than it's worth, so they can make money. Or they're going to try to
people
get you
that
to
are
sell it
just-
so they can
yeah.
make the commission. Just tell them your brother's a
crazy.
realtor and they'll hang
I'm
up
like,
on
I
you.
like
Stop it.
CJ here. He says, cash out your paycheck. Feel the money. Learn how
That's
to make a
a
dollar
little
go
bit
further.
drastic, you know?
You don't have to have the next best thing. Save for the things that matter most to you.
You know, it did make a difference for me when I was like in high school and working my job then. I didn't deposit any checks.
Yeah, when I was younger, because
I
when you
had
have to fork
cash.
over that cash
Yeah.
money, you do feel it.
You had an idea. Oh, I've got $14 to give me the next Wednesday. Okay. You know.
Yeah, you definitely feel
There
it.
was no doubt about it.
You know, a long time ago when I was first got my first credit card, I worked at a restaurant and I would pay off everybody's bill with my credit card that paid cash.
Yeah. So
I
you
would-
could just have the cash.
I
on
took
you.
well, I put the cash in the bank.
Okay.
And I ran my credit, just went gold instantly. That was the first thing I ever did.
Smart.
Plus, I got all these frequent flyer miles. I got everything.
As long as you're
And the
paying it.
manager, yeah, I did
They
it.
had that back in the day.
I did it with another buddy of mine. They were different credit cards. They were made out of stone. A little bit. Another buddy of mine, but he took the cash and he spent it, so he got in a whole lot of trouble
Yeah, for
on his
sure.
own. But
So I was going to say, CJ, listen to this. They should also teach responsibility of money that can ruin relationships. Child custody, divorce should be factors learned in school because that's true. I mean,
man.
when people pay child support, like that's a big hit sometimes.
I mean, like that's a whole nother can of worms here,
Yeah.
one that we don't have time to get
No.
into on the show. But I agree completely that like I think that kids need to grow up understanding what marriage is. Like because it's really it's a financial contract.
It really
more than
is,
anything
yes.
else. It's great that you love
You don't
somebody,
wanna marry
wanna
a
raise a
loser.
family with them, but
Yeah.
it is that. And like watching my own parents divorce and watching the relationships I know that have gone sour with others. That is a pill to swallow.
money is
That's
the
not
number
just the love
one
life. The
thing
money
people-
gets
The
the
messed
troubles
up.
in relationships,
Yeah,
right?
that's the number
Yeah.
one thing that breaks
People
up
fight
relationships.
over
You
that
always see those
stuff.
studies. It's money, financial troubles,
And
all
then
that
two is
stuff.
cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. That's another show. We talk about dating and cheating enough. But if two lovesick kids want to think about how their financial situation is going to get screwed up in the event of divorce, maybe they'll think twice.
Yeah.
before-
I
Sure.
would-
You know, when you're young too, everybody's like, "Oh, it doesn't matter how much money you make. Love is everything."
about love.
I'm like, no.
You have to, you got to hash these. We went so we did premarital counseling through the church, the Catholic Church, and then we also, because my husband wasn't Catholic, we're like, well, we're also going to get somebody who's just non-denominational, is just going to be like a couples therapist that gives you premarital counseling.
great.
So we did both, and we talked about all those things ahead of time because he was a saver and I was the spender, and we had to agree, like, are we doing joint checking? Are we doing separate? Who's going to be in charge of
The bills.
the big picture of
Yeah.
investing? Who's going to be in charge of paying the bills? Like we fought. Oh my gosh, we fought. But at least we fought before we walked down the aisle.
Yeah.
So by the time we decided to go ahead and get married, I feel like we'd already talked about kids and marriage and that. So I do
You have to, yeah.
That's
premarital
important.
counseling if you can. A lot of times you can find it free through churches and different organizations too.
Yeah, my marriage is going great, and we're actually planning going on a marriage counseling retreat for like marriages that are great, just to keep it tuned up. You know,
Yeah.
going to the gym, you got to keep going. The
gotta
body
keep it
can
tight.
stay- But no, you got to talk about money. Money's huge on that one.
It's a
too.
big issue, and people are coming from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
His family was different about their spending ideas than my family was. So it's definitely, don't be shy. A lot of times people don't want to talk about it, but
But you
sometimes
need
you gotta
to,
hash
yeah.
it out.
You guys think I'm really kind of a little bit of frugal with my money. We had a guy that worked here, he's a very good friend of mine. He's now a financial advisor. I'm not going to say any names. And he used to do this 9 to 9 program where you could run the air conditioning really cheap but at 9 in the morning through till 9 at night. It was really expensive.
Okay.
He'd shut it off.
Wow.
They used to send the dog back to the parents up north, and there's no air conditioning from 9 o'clock till 9 o'clock at night, 9 in the morning till 9.
gosh.
Yeah, he'd say they'd walk around the house just about naked. He said, "You come to my house, that's how bad."
I
it's
guess that
gonna be."
keeps your
that
time
helps
spicy.
relationship.
I know. They're like, we gotta go,
Thanks for
producer.
watching this today in AZ After Show. If you learned one thing today, it's bring a notebook everywhere you go so you can write down your good ideas and
Or
not
borrow
keep
from
storing
And
on
pay your
phone.
credit card at the
Get
end
a
of the month.
decoder for this list.
Don't take our advice on anything.
Don't open up too many things.
We'll see you tomorrow.